Welcome to Egypt!
This is our third update video and look where we are. We're at the Pyramids of Giza.
It's day one of our tour. So yeah, for our time in Egypt, we're going to be doing a tour. We found a good price a few months ago on the internet, and we thought let's go for that. It'd be a nice way to start Egypt. So we met up with our tour group. The first couple of days we were just chilling in the hotel, to be honest. We didn't really do much. But day one at the pyramids, what better place to start?
The wind was too much, so I'm going to give you the facts now. The Great Pyramid was originally 147 metres tall, but now it's only 136 metres. There's 210 layers of stone to the top, and with all the stones from all three pyramids, you can build a 5-metre wall all the way around France.
Amy, look at you, such a diva. As soon as the shot's done, don't look interested and you're out of there. Known for its ancient civilization, Egypt is the largest Arab country. Check it out, it's the Sphinx. Now a lot of people just like look at the head and think, well, if you pay attention, you can see the body and the arms, the front legs, and the back legs as well, and the tail. And with the Sphinx, you might notice something's missing. There's a few things missing. Beard, think of the chin on Christ the Redeemer, like a long chin. The nose is missing as well, and there's a crown which is missing. They are. I am so much of a tourist. Ah, what a twat. We're relaxing after seeing the pyramids at this restaurant and a bar, and it's got a view of the pyramids. This is the best rooftop view I've ever seen. Two pyramids you can see behind me. This one, which looks like it's...
You're not on it at all.
There?
No, keep going that way.
There?
No, that way.
Oh, that way.
Yeah.
This one, which it looks like it's got something on top of it, that's like the casing, and that used to be all the way around the pyramid, but over years and years, different people who ruled India,
We're in Egypt.
different people that ruled Egypt took away the stone because they were using it to build other things like mosques and so on. Anyway, I always thought it was this one, which was the biggest, but it's not. The Great Pyramid is the one next to it. Am I pointing to it?
Yep.
This one. They look about the same height from here, but the Great one is actually, it starts a lot lower down. So it looks about the same height, but it's actually much bigger because, yeah, the ground is much lower.
It's about 8 metres difference.
8 metres. What can you do with that? So after a day of seeing the pyramids, and then we went to the Egyptian Museum in Cairo, and we couldn't film or take any pictures there.
You saw Tutankhamun though?
We did see Tutankhamun, so that's pretty cool. But now we are, Amy?
Going on an overnight train, which is 3 hours late at the moment. 12 hours it's going to take if we're lucky. But we should arrive in Aswan tomorrow. Ready for our felucca boat.
Yeah, sorry, which is Aswan is right in the south of the country, so we're going all the way to the south, and then we're going to slowly make our way back to Cairo, and that's the tour. I'm feeling like we're back in India at the moment, waiting at the train station. Do you get that same feeling?
Yeah, because there's a lot of beats as well, a lot of tuk-tuks and stuff like that. It does feel like India a lot actually.
Once we arrived in Aswan, we jumped on a boat to check out one of the Philae temples. The one we saw was built in 690 BC and was built for Isis.
Not that one, the Egyptian goddess of marriage, fertility, motherhood, magic and medicine.
The chapel on the right side was added by Ptolemy II, Philadelphus, to a god called Immortal.
finally time to relax on our felucca for 2 days. Feluccas are simple, traditional Egyptian sailboats that have sailed the River Nile since ancient times.
This was definitely a highlight of Egypt. Great weather, food, a friendly crew, and we also got some life advice from one of the other travellers in our group.
Don't hurt yourself just for the picture. And take care of the camera.
All for the gram, baby. That evening we were treated to some traditional entertainment.
And what a treat it was!
I want what that guy's having.
So it's the next day on the felucca. We've woken up and set sail. How do you feel, Nick?
Good. But it's nice just relaxing here watching the water.
We can sleep today, it's fine. I've had a shower, Nick hasn't, because he's lazy and...
Too much effort. I'll do it when we get to the hotel tomorrow.
Gross, so I won't be touching him for a while. Hi guys, long time no see. So as you would have seen, we just spent a couple of days on the felucca and loved it, didn't we?
Really good way, or the perfect way to see the Nile. Just relaxing, cruising down the river. It was really nice and relaxing. But yeah, after 2 days, you're done. You're ready to get off the boat and then walk around and explore. Not the most comfortable sleep either, but it was cool sleeping under the stars.
Yeah, like people, it was like a hostel really, you know, where people like get up in the night and then they're moaning about something and then someone else is snoring and you just like shut the fuck up.
Mosquitoes as well.
Oh my god, I've genuinely got 20 like mosquito bites on one leg and like 18 on the other. It's ridiculous. Being on a river, that's where you're gonna have all the mosquito bites, so yeah.
But we got really good food as well. We were served really good food 3 times a day, so it was a really nice couple of days.
And like the crew were amazing, weren't they? Like everyone's so polite, and yeah, no, it's really good. But so now we're at Karnak Temple, and just so you can get a good bird's eye view of what it looks like, I'm going to show you it in 3, 2. Nick, what do you know about that little temple, reconstruction of the temple? What did you just learn?
That what we're going to see is only a little bit of it. Most of it's gone. Is that right?
I don't know, you tell me. I'm just asking what you learned.
Yeah, that's right. That's what happened. Our guide likes to throw a lot of dates and names at you, like thick and fast, and it's really hard to follow. Which is a shame, because I think when you come and visit places like this, it's really enhanced by knowing stories behind it and stuff like that. But we really like him, but he does throw a lot of stuff at you and it's hard to follow.
Yeah, but I do know that, so we're in Luxor at the moment, but this has more to do with Tutankhamun, which is like the famous one that a lot of us learn about. Like I learned about Tutankhamun in primary school and had a bit of a weird obsession with drawing him. Don't know why, but that's just That was little Amy. But yeah, so we haven't really learned too much about Tutankhamun except for when we was in the Cairo Museum.
Yeah, but even then, like, I don't know, we didn't really learn much. I'm going to do a lot of research after we leave Egypt, when we record the show, the podcast show about Egypt. I'll then do a lot of research, because again, we were just throwing a lot of information, weren't we?
Yeah. Yeah, like our guide is so intelligent, but yeah, not so good at teaching that education that he has. But anyway, it's still good to see all this and all the inscriptions and all the buildings and all that, so it's cool.
Day in Egypt, another temple. So, there should be a load of columns here, but the only one still standing is this one here.
So, at the bottom of the Osiris, we call this the Osiris status. The king standing attached to the pillar like a mummy, cross arm over the chest and the beard.
On every pharaoh you can see cartouches. They are oval shaped with a horizontal line at one end. The text inside is a royal name.
The oval surrounding their name was meant to protect them from evil spirits in life and after death.
You can also spot a prayer in a temple as it's written vertically within lines like this.
And prizes for guessing who filmed this.
You know that game where that you've got like something in your hand and there's a bin and you want to try and get it in? I think the Egyptians came up with that game, because look, he's trying to get that whatever he's holding into the pot.
Maybe that's the first ever beer pong.
Yes, he's playing beer pong. Ah.
Poor guy. Yeah, maybe that's like a tourist restaurant.
Smoking? Heat price.
You like it when what?
Sabr clear, sabr clear.
Oh, you have
Sabr clear. تقول منيت؟ أنا أور منيت.
Hello viewers! So as a lot of you know, we have been on a tour for the start of our Egypt trip. So like 9 days down and back up the Nile. We're now back in Cairo. We had a nice dinner with our tour group last night to say goodbye. Now we're in our Uber going to our couchsurfing host in Cairo. And I think this is where the proper like Egypt adventure is going to start. So Amy, how are you feeling?
Yeah, good. So we've kind of done all the touristy things, haven't we? So we've done the pyramids and like a lot of the temples and learnt the history, but now I feel we're going to learn about current Egypt and the culture and see what it's like and smoke a lot of shisha.
Yeah.
I'm excited about.
And like try the local food. We've had a lot of hotel food. Been on these tours, they take you to like the restaurants and the hotels that they know tourists aren't going to get sick at, so like you have to be more careful. They're just so scared, aren't they? They are really scared, yeah. But I don't know about you. Yeah, I've had enough of ancient Egypt. Yeah. Temples, pyramids, pharaohs, like it's all interesting, but I'm done with that. I want to know what modern Egypt is like. This is Slam, our couchsurfing host, and he's taken us to get some local Egyptian food. What am I about to eat?
Okay, basically this is brains. You know, people who are about to die, after they die, fresh, they take, I'm sorry, cow brains basically. Cow brains, fried cow brains, and taste. Just take it quiet. You can open the sandwich.
Open it.
It looks like brain. It's squishy and stuff.
How'd you feel?
I feel alright. I'm quite anxious for eating brain, but that's why we're here, to try different things. Okay, ready?
Taking a big bite there, adventurous.
It just tastes like A bit chewy, but just different types of meat.
What kind of flavour?
Pickled cucumbers, pickled eggplants, and this what do you call it? Jalapeno, I guess. No, this one.
Oh yeah, like a jalapeno, yeah.
Like
We have eggplant.
yeah.
Yeah, shall I just... can I have some of this?
Take the fork.
Oh, sorry. The whole thing?
Just take a bite.
It's spicy.
So yeah, like what kind of flavour? So a little bit chewy, but what kind of flavour has it got? It's a bit like, is it similar to liver?
I'll tell you what it is. You know, sometimes at KFC, when you're eating a bit of wing and you get like a bad, kind of a bad fatty, but still crunchy bit of chicken,
Yeah.
maybe a bit of cartilage. A little bit like
The
that,
whole
but
thing tastes like that?
it's a little bit like that, but it's still got the nice crispy like skin of a KFC. I think I just spat, sorry. It's good, man. Thank you. Look at that. So guys, we've come to the centre of Cairo to a restaurant called Abu Tarek, and they serve the unofficial national dish of Egypt.
The dish is called kashari, and have a look. So you've got chickpeas, you've got noodles and pasta. This is onion on top, and it comes with this really spicy sauce. It was meant to be quite spicy, I haven't tried it yet.
I'm just going to go for all of it. It's like soft and crunchy and saucy and dry. Proper like comfort food. We are both done and we're both very full. So that cost us 60 Egyptian pounds, but that was for 2 meals and 2 bowls of water. And 60 Egyptian pounds is only £2.56.
So it's our last day in Cairo. The sun has set on our journey here, and we're going to be moving to Gamasa, which is just kind of north, 3 hours on the bus. And we're just sitting in this rooftop bar called, it used to be called Loft 21, but it's now called Mantis. But look at these views, they look amazing.
Yeah, it's a really cool place to finish our trip. Now, I've had a bit of a love-hate relationship with Cairo. There's been great times and there's been some annoying times. So
Scammy times.
Yeah, we'll get to that. Last night was really good with our couch surfing host Islam. So kind of finally on this trip we've been able to hang out with local Egyptian people. We had a really good time. He took us out with his friends and we were playing card games in the street, drinking tea, smoking shisha. There are even people playing FIFA in the street, which I've never seen before in my life. This is how a man does shisha. Okay, my turn.
Try really hard, like do your best one.
I'll take it again.
I remember my first session.
Mugged me up. But we had a really good chat with those guys, didn't we? Just about like, I don't know what it is to be young in Egypt these days, and they had some really interesting views, which will be mentioned on the podcast. So that was really good fun, and this morning was good. We're in a nice part of town, and we got the local dish, kashari. Kashari. And that was really, really tasty, very cheap as well. And the locals in that area of town were really nice. I met some kids who just wanted to come up and say hello to us, and we're high-fiving them and stuff.
Yeah, they all want to just like practice their English, don't they?
Yeah, so at that point we're thinking, oh, Cairo's great. But then this afternoon walking around, we just got hassled so much.
Yeah,
and
we went more to
SCAMS.
like the touristy part because we're by the Egyptian Museum. And at first you think that people are being nice and they come up to you and they're like, oh, like, where are you from? And it's like, that's pretty standard. But here it's kind of like a longer conversation before they even mention their shop or whatever they want to sell. And they're like, oh, I want to give you my business card. Come with me. I haven't got them on me. Let's go to the shop. And then like you go to the shop and then then they want to put the perfumes on you, and we stink. Because the first time we like got caught, they put all this floral perfume on us and it doesn't smell nice. I smell like 100 years old.
And then we can't get that smell out, so that's annoying. One guy tried to give us a present. He says, just for you, present, don't worry about it. And then he put a second present in. He's like, here you go, take it, present from me. You take it, that one's a present. Second one, give me what you think you want to pay for it. And I'm like, I don't want to pay anything for it. I just said I'd take a business card from you. That happened quite a lot. And then Amy's getting lots of like stares and looks and people shouting things just because that's what they do to women here, unfortunately. So it's
which is like okay, but it's when it gets too much. So if you're walking along the road, they lean out of their car and shout stuff out at you in Arabic, which I think is a bit too far. Like stare if I'm wearing different clothes or anything like that, that's fine. But like I'm always trying to be respectful, like covering my shoulders and things like that. But yeah, no, it is a bit too much.
Yeah, it's starting to get too much. So the city is a bit crazy and it can get you. But yeah, there's some really great things about it, some really bad things about it. But we were just talking right now. Overall, I do like Egypt. I just get a bit frustrated by it. But you're not really feeling it at the moment, are you?
No, yeah, I also have a love-hate relationship, but I think the love is very few and far between those times. Like this morning when we went to eat kushari, that was great. Like the wait was really fun and everybody just wants to talk to you, and that's great. But yeah, and then there will be times when you're like, what am I doing here? Like this is too stressful. And yeah, it just gets quite stressful, but
hey, tomorrow might be very different. Like Amy said, we're going to a town in the north, like a beach town called Gamasa. I don't think it's very touristy. Gamasa. I don't think it's very touristy, so it's going to be very different to Cairo. Who knows, we might end up loving it. But at the moment, we're a bit like, yeah. Actually, I like it more than you, but I can see why you get frustrated with Egypt. If I'm being honest, I think I like it more just because I'm a man, and it very much is a man's place. Like, it's true though, isn't it? It's harder for women here. But hey, it's been interesting, but it still might get very good.
Gamasa.
This is me and Amy from the future, explaining the bad situation that happened. And I now wish that we filmed it, but at the time, we were in no mood.
There was no way we could have filmed what happened. It was just one of the most stressful travel days I think we've ever had. An hour before we were going to leave, our couchsurfing host was like, hey, where have you been in Egypt now? Even though we'd already told him. And he was like, oh, do you know what? I'm thinking maybe Gamasa is not the right place for you. I think you should maybe go somewhere else, because you should only go Gamasa if you've been to all the major places, which you haven't, blah, blah, blah. But it was on our way, so we wanted to go. And actually from the start, he convinced us to go. It wasn't even somewhere that we even knew existed. Anyway, hour before, he says, I'm not sure it's the right place for you. And we were kind of set in our ways then, and we were like, well no, this is what we're gonna do. And he was like, okay, fine, come. We get there and then we're waiting around ages for him at the bus stop, and he didn't arrive. And then he was like, so guys, you're not gonna be staying with me. I'm gonna take you somewhere else at this other apartment. And we was like, why can't we stay with you? Like what? Like I thought that's what was happening. He told us that it was because his parents were staying, so me as a female wouldn't be able to stay with him, because I think he thought we were unmarried. I think it's different if we were married.
Oh, maybe, yeah.
But
I'm not sure.
I can't stay with him because of Muslim rules, whatever.
Yeah, he said, but a friend of mine is letting me use his apartment, which you guys can have. But like, okay, so we've got our own apartment. Fine, it's like the benefits of couch surfing, but without having to feel like we have to be social to the guy, because we've got our own apartment. But then when we got there, the walk there wasn't very nice. Even though it was dark, it was clearly a horrible place, Gamasa. And then when we got there, the apartment was fucking awful.
When I first walked in, I saw a cockroach run across the floor, and he was with his two friends, and one of them just like stepped on it and swiped it away, hoping that I hadn't seen. I was like, oh God.
So yeah, cockroaches running around, the place was filthy. We couldn't get the water working, the toilet wouldn't flush because the water wasn't working.
It was definitely a party place. There was bottles, like empty bottles everywhere. You could just tell it was a party house.
They just went to his apartment and they left. And then we're like, what do we do? And it's quite late at night. Let's just find somewhere in town where we are now to stay. So we got all of our bags together and we walked around thinking surely there's going to be a hotel. We're walking around for ages, it's getting late, like 10, 11 o'clock at night. Couldn't find a hotel.
It felt really unsafe as well.
Yeah.
And we were just kind of wandering around, couldn't find anything.
Had all of our belongings on us. And
hadn't eaten.
Yeah, and then so we gave up. We said, let's just go back. We got a little taxi. They're actually tuk-tuks, but we got a little tuk-tuk back. And then I
thought I'd left my phone on the tuk-tuk.
Then yeah, once the tuk-tuk dropped us off and he drove off, we went to the front door and like the key wasn't working. We couldn't get in the front door. Then Amy was like, shit, I've lost my phone. And we're thinking this is like the worst night of our lives.
I don't think it sounds as bad as it felt. Like every junction we got to, something bad happened.
Yeah.
There was another thing where we was travelling with the tuk-tuk driver and we said, can you take us to a hotel? He was like, okay. Started taking us to all these like back streets. So this happened before, didn't it?
That's right.
We went to all these back streets and then suddenly he was taking us to this apartment. And I just had this feeling that something really bad was going to happen. So I got out of the tuk-tuk and kind of looked in the building of where he'd gone. It just looked very dodgy. So I said, I don't know about you, Nick, but I'm walking. Like I'm not going wherever he wants us to stay. Maybe he was going to say stay in my house and pay me. I don't know, but we walked away and then he came out and I thought, oh my God, there's going to be a fight. Yeah,
and then we refused to pay him because we said take us to a hotel and he didn't. And then it was like, okay, we left that guy and then we managed to get another tuk-tuk back to our apartment. But like I said, then we're locked out. We can't get in. Amy's lost her phone. Shit, what we're going to do? I rang the guy we're staying with, even though it cost a lot of money to ring, but I was getting quite desperate. So the door's not working. Then he told us what to do. There was something behind the door you had to move, and then we got in. Thankfully, Amy had her phone. Then we got into the apartment, which was disgusting. We thought we have to spend the night here now because it's quite late. Then I realised I left my hoodie on the tuk-tuk. So like,
but it wasn't just any hoodie. It was the what the faux hoodie.
Yeah, damn. So, but then I thought I'd rather lose a hoodie than lose Amy's phone. But so anyway, we ended up just sleeping the night in this horrible place.
But we're missing a vital piece of information here.
What?
So when our couchsurfing host left us at the apartment, there was absolutely no internet, which again, first world problems. But at that point, we're in a place we don't know. It felt really unsafe. We were left on our own in a place of cockroaches. We didn't know where we were, where the hotels were, so we couldn't even search anything, and we were just kind of stranded in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, but without internet, you've got no information. When is the bus tomorrow? How far away is the bus station? You don't know anything. We just wanted to get out of there. We got a private car to away from Gamasa to Alexandria, which is where the video is going to start from now.
Welcome to Alexandria. Because that didn't work out. Second couch surfing experience, which didn't work out too well.
That turned out to all be a scam.
Oh, we are hating Egypt at the moment. Everything we do, every time we leave the hotel, something bad happens. Someone tries to scam us or something. It's just like Cuba. It's getting ridiculous now. So we're going back to our hotel room and we're not going to leave because like we can't have a good experience here. So what happened was, I'll be honest, I'm not feeling the best at the moment, and I had a poorly stomach, so we got off like a sightseeing bus so that I could get to a toilet. And then came out of the toilet and I said, look guys, I'm really sorry, I'm gonna have to go back to the hotel, I'm really not feeling well today. And Nick was like, oh, I'll come back with you, of course. And he was like, oh no, like my friend's coming in a minute, why don't we just jump in his car? He can drive you back to the hotel and that'll be fine.
Yeah, so, at this point we're thinking he's a nice guy. Like, okay, great, thank you.
And then he was like, let's wait for my friend. And then his friend was taking ages, got us in the car and then started driving the opposite way to the hotel room. And we're like, what are we doing? And we said, look, we don't want to be rude, but like I need to get back because I'm really ill. And then they started saying, do you know what Kareem is? And we was like, well, we've seen signs for it. It's all on billboards and stuff, but we're not sure. And he said, oh, it's a bit like Uber, but cheaper. And my friend here, who was driving the car, he said, oh, he actually works for Kareem and he's just got a job on his phone. So would you rather... Oh, someone's at the door. 1 second.
Let me see who it is.
Back to the story, our laundry had just arrived. So he said, do you know what Kareem is? We've seen all the billboards and it's like Uber but cheaper. And he was like, my friend who's driving has just picked up a job. Do you want him to cancel it or do you want him to take you and you pay him the money? And it just always seemed a bit strange, didn't it? It just started turning into a scam and we were like, no, it's okay. And we were just like looking at each other thinking, let's just get out of the car. And I was actually going to use our little...
We have a code word.
We have a code word. So I don't drink coffee or any hot drinks, but if I feel we're in a situation or Nick feels we're in a situation that we need to get out of ASAP, we just say to each other, oh, after this, should we go get a coffee? Because that's just nothing that we would ever say to each other. But
exactly.
It means I don't feel comfortable, let's get out of this situation. I'd always recommend someone has something like that because it works. And I was just about to use it actually. I did think about it.
It felt wrong, like you said, he was driving us the wrong way. Suddenly he's asking for money. And then he said, it'll be about 100 or maybe 75 Egyptian pounds. We'll put the UK or US dollars here. And we're thinking, we know that's too much.
It's far too much.
Uber's cheaper than that.
We'd just been on a sightseeing bus for about 10-15 minutes for 10 Egyptian pounds, but he wanted us to ride us back to our hotel for 100. Just doesn't make any sense.
So then we said, no thank you, got out, see you later. It's a shame because we were, having a good day with him. He seemed like a nice guy. We thought he wanted to show us his hometown. Then we just got some Wi-Fi, got an Uber back, and I think it cost about 50 Egyptian pounds, so half of what he was saying. So our whole thing was just to get us in his mate's car and to give us a ride and for us to pay for it. And I think now we're just going to give up trying. Let's just stay in a hotel room for the next couple of days, get some podcast and video work done, and go to Jordan.
And be close to a toilet.
Alright, you have made it to the end of our Egypt video. I thought this is a really good way to put it. You felt like you were watching me travel.
Yeah.
Because I was having all the interaction with local people, because we only ever spoke to men, we never spoke to women, and they were only talking to me. So yeah, Amy was just watching me travel.
It was one of those travel destinations where whatever you did, you'd made the wrong decision, or you felt like it anyway. And yeah, I just felt like your travel assistant. I was going through all the kind of negative sides of traveling, the actual traveling, like being on buses, being on trains, but not getting the rewards of mixing with the locals as much. Our next video is Jordan, which is where we're sitting now. We're in Wadi Musa, the desert, and you'll be seeing all of our adventures here, and it's great. We're loving it.
So far, it's been very different to Egypt, so yeah, you guys can look forward to a very different video. And of course, all of our travels are going to be on the podcast as well. Our Egypt episode will be out shortly, so stay tuned, lots of stuff coming your way.